$1,000 was donated to hospice volunteers of Hancock County today. The donation is part of the Stanley Subaru Share the Love Subaru program. The Share the Love event takes place every year from the middle of November to early January. During that time, Subaru of America as well as Stanley Subaru donate a portion of the proceeds from each new car sale. The money will go towards a hospice organization that is predominantly run by volunteers.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I was just about in tears. It's like we're a small organization, and so it really does impact our organization and the people that we serve. So I was really blown away, and working with the folks at Subaru, they're amazing, and they've been really a lot of fun to work with.
There's no hurdles or guidelines to be eligible for their services. They are actually available to everybody. Quality of life, health, end-of-life services, all of those things are things that touch everyone in our community. So they have such a broad reach within our community, they were a natural fit.
Over the last 16 years, Subaru has donated over $288 million to national and local charities across the country.